All right, here we go. Lord Jamar, welcome back.
Peace, was good.
Hey, man, life is good.
Isn't it?
Life is good.
Life is good.
Life is good. I woke up today. I'm healthy.
Okay.
I could go to the fridge and put some food in my stomach.
Okay. You
I
got a
can
roof
decide
over your head.
Got a roof over my head. I could decide what I'll do that day. I could prioritize my own life.
Okay.
Take care of important things, but I could set my own direction. And what else can a person ask for?
That's what's up. I mean, you could ask for more, but you see, there's satisfaction and there's dissatisfaction based on what what you feel like you need to accomplish or your goals or your wants, And they make you always want more. This is why people are not satisfied with just the simple things in life.
Mm-hmm.
You're not happy with just having shoes on your feet. You got to have, designer shoes or whatever. You did?
Yep. Yeah, man. And look, let me just go ahead and say this to all the rappers out there who are mad at me for various reasons. Stop going to Lord Jamar to complain.
Hey, I'm not your legal guardian, bro.
No.
It happens a lot, though. Like, people will hit me in my DM, or they'll fucking call me on the phone, and they'll be like, yo, your man Vlad, like, bruh, like, why are you hitting me with this? Like, I don't control this man's whereabouts. I don't know about every fucking thing he say in an interview and blah, 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 nor does he, vice versa. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, man, you your own man. We do interviews a lot and all that, but come on, bro. I don't know what they think.
Yeah, man, listen. Complaining to Lord Jamar will have no effect on what I decide to do in my own business.
I mean, I do have the bat line to you, but still, that doesn't mean that, you know what I mean? You're going to fucking listen, but you will pick it up.
I will pick up the phone and I will listen, but I will always make my own decision every single time. And if you're trying to get Lord Jamar out to fuck with me to somehow get some satisfaction out of there, Lord Jamar's his own man and he'll decide whether he wants to fuck with me or not.
Basically.
Yeah. If someone goes to me and complains about you, I'll be like, all right, that's between y'all. I got my own, relationship with Jamar.
Basically.
So yeah, man, listen. I'm sure this is not going to stop people from doing it, but let me just put the public service announcement out there.
Please. I ain't got nothing to do with it. My name's Bennett, and I ain't in it.
All right, so let's get into some current events. First of all, someone who I've known for a very long time and have maintained a relationship with and talked to and have interviewed multiple times, Bun B just got into some shit.
Yes. That's my man.
Yeah.
I spoke to him moments after it happened, maybe.
I called him as well.
Yeah.
I called him just to check up on him.
Same here. Soon as I heard about it, I called him. I was in the middle of shooting my own show, actually, and I had to stop, and, as soon as they was like, yo, you heard what happened? What? Fuck that. But thank goodness he's okay. Queenie, shout out to his wife Queenie. She's, fine. Nothing happened. And, the perpetrator caught a slug to the shoulder. He's lucky that's all he caught, He's lucky my man aim was off,
Yeah, man. I mean, number one, this says a lot about home protection. As well as gun ownership. Both of which I am for, and I've said that I'm for many, many years. I will protect my home. I have guns in my home, and I would hope that I would react in a similar manner as Bun B in that same situation.
Wait, do you have guns like Kevin Hart has guns? Secret gun
like
compartments?
built into the.
Oh! That's what you want to do? You want to rob me? I'm cooking Thanksgiving dinner for my family. Gun compartment. That shit was hilarious to me. But anyway,
That shit was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, apparently what happened, it was like some bozo was going door to door trying to break into homes and steal cars or whatever.
Right.
And, he knocked on the door and Bun B's wife answered because I guess Bun was, busy, was like not able to answer the phone because usually he does answer the phone. I mean, I'm sorry, he answered the door. Yeah, usually the man answers the door, but for whatever reason, he was tied up. So she answered, and this idiot ran in and basically tried to rob the place, not realizing this is Bun B's house.
Word.
And Bun went and grabbed the hammer.
Came on downstairs.
And I guess found this dude in his car, in his garage.
About to get in the car, right.
And then just unloaded.
Popped his ass.
As he should have.
As he should have. I mean, this man, from what I understand, had the gun in his wife's face. Like, come on, man. And when I spoke to Bun, he's like, listen, I wouldn't have been happy, taking the life of another black man, but I would have been happy protecting my family. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's what it is. Like, you don't want to have to do some shit, to your own people. There's enough violence in our community amongst each other, but when it comes to, self-preservation, you got to save self before you can save others, And so in that situation, that's saving self,
Well, I mean, let's just think the worst case scenario if Bun B didn't have a gun.
Right.
His wife could have been raped. Both of them could have been killed. If one of their children came home, it could have escalated into that, could have turned into a hostage situation. Like, it could really have just gone very, very left.
Yeah, those are all God forbid scenarios,
God forbid.
And thankfully, none of that happened, And he wasn't one of these cowards out here, okay? Because you best believe they're trying to groom, a lot of our young men into just being cowards, being scared and shit like that. Scared to fucking protect your family, or, your wife, your daughter, your sister, your mother, You got motherfuckers out here where you seeing women getting attacked and all motherfuckers is doing is filming the shit with their fucking camera and shit. And they're not, they don't have the courage enough to fucking run up like the man kicking the old lady. Where you got a bunch of men on the train, what the fuck are y'all doing? You see what I'm saying? But we raising a bunch of bitch-ass motherfuckers right now that, you know what I mean? So at least this man is, cut from the cloth where he had the courage to even stand up for his fucking family and do what he had to do in a stressful moment,
Right, and I'm just so glad that people seem to be celebrating being a hero rather than being a victim. I'm glad that he didn't say, we all got beat up and pistol whipped, and I want y'all to feel sorry for us.
Right.
Like, no, motherfucker, broke in my house, I shot the motherfucker. The end. I'll do it again. Who's next?
I don't know if you want motherfuckers lining up, but
right. I'm not saying that. I'm joking.
For real. Like it's yeah, man. And I'll do it again.
And you know something? I would do the exact same thing if I had the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Point blank. Period. If you try to run up in my house like that, I will shoot at you, and I will try to kill you.
It's a shame. It's a 20-year-old kid. Like that's a kid. You know what I mean? Like. But he walked up in the wrong motherfucking spot. You know what I mean? Knowledge is power sometimes. You see? Like, You doing random shit without planning it out. That should be a lesson to some of you fucking criminals out here. Like, plan your work and work your plan. You see? Because when you just haphazardly do shit, you see, you should have planned to go into like one of them old white people's cribs that, you know, the odds of them fucking coming down with a gun and popping your motherfucking ass was minuscule. You know? You could have just kicked her walker out from under her or some shit and took her fucking pearls. But you just randomly went from door to door, didn't know that you was going to fucking Bun B's fucking crib, a fucking underground king, and got your ass popped up real quick. That's why you got donkey of the day today, motherfucker. Well, go ahead.
Well, you know, the mugshot got released. Did you see it?
Nah, I didn't see it yet. Oh, they got all up that nigga nose, huh?
He kind of looks like Ludacris a little bit. A lot of people in the comments say, is that Ludacris?
Is that Luda? Damn, he looks young. He looks dumb, too, though.
20 years old. He's kind of smirking a little bit.
Hey, he just better thank his lucky stars. He better thank whatever, you know, whatever superior power he believes in, you know, that he's still here right now.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, my man wasn't going for the shoulder. That's just where he got hit at.
Oh, yeah, no, I'd heard that the car got shot up a bunch of times. He just happened to catch one on the shoulder. Could have caught one in the brain.
This is what I'm saying.
And you know something? Bun would have been totally...
These are all the things, you know, there's many different ways things can turn. You know what I mean? And luckily, everybody came out of it, including him, with their lives. You know what I mean? Including the perpetrator.
Right. Well, he's probably going to get, you know, convicted of armed robbery.
Oh, and you're in Texas.
Yeah.
They don't fucking play. I could almost guarantee this dude's going to get at least 10, 15 years maybe. And he ain't even kill nobody. You know what I mean? But you do some fuck shit like that in Texas, you out of here.
You've broken into a person's home with a gun. I mean, they're going to have a whole bunch of charges to go along with it.
Absolutely.
And he's probably going to, you know, plea out to 10, 15 years, something like that.
And you're only 20 years old. So when you get out 30, 35 years old, you know, I mean, I guess you still got some life to live, but that's a big chunk taken away. Now you got to try to start from scratch at 35. Come on, man.
Well, start from scratch with a violent felony on your record.
Right.
No skill set whatsoever. No, you know, your resume is basically blank for the next 15 years. Mm-hmm. So try to get a job doing anything. That's going to be hard. And, you know, in a way, it's a little bit unfortunate because you're creating a revolving door into the system when this happens.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not happy that this is the outcome of a person going to prison. You see what I'm saying? I would prefer that he goes to prison and 15 years later he comes out with a college degree and various opportunities. The prison helps him, you know, work with various companies that will hire him despite his criminal record, and he could go on and become an asset to society. That's what I would hope would happen. Yeah, well, but I know that's not what happens.
We know that's not how it's set up.
We know that's not how it happens.
Yeah, that's the naive view of prison, that it's actually for reform or whatever. But you know, we know it's not for any kind of reform. It is to create a revolving door. You know, it's to create so that this motherfucker, if he got a son, his son goes to jail. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's set up to do.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's really the case. It's a fucked up prison system. I've seen it go left a lot of different times. We've interviewed a lot of people who are victims of this system, and very few people in the process actually come out of it better than when they came in. You know, my friend Shaka Senghor is one of the very few exceptions who went in for doing a murder and came out with a best-selling book.
Right.
Very rare.
Right.
Very rare. I mean, even Tookie Williams, before he died, he was actually nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize 4 times for his anti-gang initiatives.
Oh, wow. So nominated but never won.
Still being nominated is a big fucking deal. I've never been nominated for a Nobel Prize. Like,
for having the longest beard and shit.
Right. Right. Yeah, man, it's a very fucked up system that puts people at a disadvantage for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And even though you pay back your debt to society, you still are, you know, you don't really pay it back. You continue to pay it back for the rest of your life. You know, like, for example, the guy who got shot next to Nipsey Hussle, Kerry Lathan, I interviewed him because after he got shot, they violated him. Well, they locked him up. They tried to violate his probation for associating with a known gang member.
Right.
Here he was in a wheelchair, you know, chained to the, you know, to the metal bar next to the phone, talking to me over the phone from jail with no medication because he got hit in the spine. And they were talking about sending him back for life again after doing 26 years.
You see? Like, it's funny. I was just talking about this yesterday with Digger about, we were talking about, when is it a good time for black people to call the police? You see? And like, in that case, like, he was a victim. Like, you can't even be shot and like call the police, think you're gonna get some fucking help, and they'll fuck around and you'll get the shit end of the stick somehow just for bringing these motherfuckers into the picture. Like, as a black man, it's not so easy to just call them, even in times like this where you feel like I should be good. Like I got shot. I can't call an ambulance. Like nope. Because these motherfuckers might find some fucking loophole to fuck with you. And it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, during our interview over the phone, and Big U from the Rolling 60s was the one that facilitated it. Mm-hmm. You know, he was on three-way with us. You know, all three of us were just talking, well, really primarily the two of them were just talking about how messed up that particular law is, because, okay, you're gang affiliated. You go to prison, you come out. You go back home. Your brothers, your sisters are all gang affiliated, possibly. Your parents are possibly gang affiliated. Your cousins are possibly gang affiliated. The area you move back to, whereas your only support structure is a gang area. You get pulled over in a car on your way to Burger King. Okay, who here is on probation? You? Okay. All right. Oh, I know you're gang affiliated. Okay, you just violated. Back to prison. Like, who are you supposed to hang with? Like, who are you supposed to live with?
It's to remove your support system from you, and it's to also to make it very easy for you to go back. That's why don't act like that's gonna get changed. They did that on purpose. That was put there on purpose. They know exactly what the fuck they was doing when that was put in place. They know. The only way you'd be able to truly abide by what they're talking about is to just move away somewhere. But then how am I going to do that when I'm on parole here? And I still can't fucking do that. Because who got the money to just up and move, you know, to another fucking state and start a fucking new life somewhere in a new fucking city or some shit? Or I'm supposed to be just a hermit and not fuck with nobody. Like, it's impossible. And they know it's impossible. That's why they set it up like that. So that you will fucking, you know what I mean? Because they need their slaves back in there. Back in this prison pipeline. That's part of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, me and Trey D just talked about that. And he was telling me how he's personally seen situations where someone will come back from prison and they can't move back home because their brother is also on probation.
Right.
And he's gang affiliated. So you can't move back home with your own brother. So you have to go find someplace else to live because your brother's already living with your mother.
Listen, the mama might be in a gang. It'd be multi-generational sometimes. You dig? The moms and the pops might be banging. You know, or known gang banging. They might not be active, but they, you know, they're known to have been in a gang, according to police. And now, you see what I'm saying? Now your girlfriend, you go to your girlfriend crib, or what her brother or sister might be. Like, how the fuck do you escape this shit?
Yeah, and how do you even know people's gang affiliations? Seriously. I mean, it's not on your name card.
Right.
You know? So you just don't know.
So then you gotta check with everybody. And just the checking might get you. It would set you claim. Oh, what you mean? Boom, boom, boom. Hey, I was just trying to stay out of trouble for parole.
Well, let me tell you, man, out of all the thousands of people that would constantly commenting and tweeting about, yeah, everyone who interviews with Vlad goes to prison, here's someone who interviews with Vlad and actually gets out. Now, I'm not sitting here and saying, oh, it's my interview that got him out.
Right.
But that interview got almost 1 million views.
Right.
And then after that interview came out, Meek Mill started posting on social media about this guy. And then, you know, all these TV stations start hitting me to use the interview in their stories about this guy.
Right.
And then they dropped the charges. And also in the process, his family has set up a GoFundMe, and it raised something like, I think, close to $20,000. And we linked to that. And that money is going to him as well. So
you could put two and two together and possibly get 4, you know?
Yeah.
So listen, if you did do it, good job, Vlad. And let some people look at that. Hold that up.
Yeah, man. Listen. And I don't, like I said, I'm not going to say that, oh, I'm the reason. No. You know, I came together with other people and, you know, including Shaka Senghor, who has an organization that works with the head of the parole board in California. And he was speaking to him as well. And all of us came together and helped get this guy out. And he's now currently out getting the proper medication for his injuries, and he could start his life again. You know, continue to rebuild his life as a 56-year-old man.
Right.
From
as best
from
he
Los
can,
Angeles.
as from doing all the time that he did, and now you got shot, and you know, man.
Well, you know, our friend Godfrey, I spoke to him right after it happened. We
the
put
Godfrey.
And he said something that a lot of people had mixed feelings about, and that is, you know, sometimes you have to love the hood from afar.
Does that mean you have to help the hood from afar then? That's what it would have to be. You have to, listen, I just always think when this kind of shit happens, you go, well, fuck it then. You know, I'm going to have to help you from afar. I can't have this jealousy shit because we are, I mean, it's sad, but people get angry at you, man.
Because Nipsey was in the hood. Crenshaw Slauson, where he was, that is,
Yeah.
you know,
The hood.
that is where he grew up. That is the hood. That is rolling 60s, you know, lower income area. And I've talked to a few guests since then, and I'm like, do you guys know anyone from you guys' neighborhoods that goes and starts businesses within the neighborhood? And most of them couldn't name anyone who really did that. Like, people just don't do that. They move out and start businesses in other areas. But Nipsey was really the only one that was starting businesses and buying land in his own neighborhood. Like, it's just an absolute rarity. Did you know anyone that's done that over the years?
That's done what?
You know, that came from a lower income neighborhood and just started buying property and opening businesses in that same neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe not on the level that he was doing it, but yeah, I know some people, you know what I mean? Some people where I grew up and, you know, fucking came up doing their thing. My man Rob G, shout out to Rob G, Magadocious Barbershop. You know what I mean? A lot of shit like that. A lot of people put up barbershops in the hood. That's a business. I'm saying they just don't have, you know what I mean? He had multiple businesses and, you know, clothing stores and shit like that. But shit, it's not as rare as what you might think. You know what I mean? They just make it harder for us. See, it's harder for us to get the business loans than, let's say, somebody that's not from this fucking country. You know what I mean? I think it would be the knowledge, whatever knowledge he gained in order to, you know, get his funding and all that, whether it be from banks and all that, that would be valuable to share with the community. Because I'm telling you, a lot of motherfuckers don't even know how to start some shit up. You know what I mean? And realistically, if you come from another country, this is why in the hood you see all kind of everybody else, every other nationality owns a fucking, you know, a deli and all that. It's not because motherfuckers from the neighborhood are just not industrious. Like, trust me, they're not giving the fucking loans to black people that's from here. But if you come in from another country and all that type of shit, oh, you can get you a store.
So I just interviewed China Mac, who's a regular on the show as well. And, you know, I asked if, you know, when he was actually actively gangbanging, if he was moving drugs as well. And he said, yeah, we were. So I said, okay, so were you guys selling the drugs in your own communities? And he gave a very interesting answer.
With the community, you know, the Chinese people was always, you would never really see us selling drugs in the community. You know what I'm saying? If anything, we would get the drugs and push it somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't see that, you know, and I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't say it was because, well, I wouldn't say the majority of reason of why that was so is, I'm sure a piece of, like a good part of it was that we didn't want to give it to our own people. You know what I'm saying? But another big part of it was that we knew that when we do that in our own neighborhood, it's going to make us hot. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, the smarter thing to do is get the drugs and put it somewhere else so our community isn't hot, so we can have a little more, you know, shelf life and doing whatever we're doing, and we can get more money and we can, you know, make ourselves hot. You know what I'm saying? But if we're on the corner selling it, you know, it's hot. You know what I mean? So the police is gonna come and that's gonna be short-lived. You know what I'm saying? So I guess, you know, the Chinese gangs always looked at that and always took that into consideration.
You look in most of these areas, man, people are selling drugs. I mean, I've heard stories. I mean, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I've interviewed people that have said they've sold drugs to their own mother because they felt, well, at least you know, she's already hooked. At least she'll get it from me as opposed to someone else because it might be laced with something or whatever else. Like,
so what's the difference there? What's the difference? What's the difference?
You tell me.
Morals. It's what community has been more morally corrupt. It has nothing, first of all, it has nothing to do with any innate, like black people are just more grimy. We have just been more, our morals have been more attacked than any other community. So we just don't give a fuck more than any other community. So we're, you know, a motherfucker that's doing crime in another culture, he still might have, you know, somebody taught him something morally that said, all right, you might be doing bad, but there's levels to everything. There's degrees to everything. And you shouldn't do so bad where you fucking are bringing down your own community. We as black people are not necessarily brought up in this day and time where we're at with that type of moral obligation. We don't feel
any moral obligation to our brothers and sisters, to humanity, to our community. We just feel like, listen, I gotta get mines, yo. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, if they don't get it from me, they're gonna get it from somebody else. So it might as well go to me. Now I don't give a fuck to my mother, my grand. I'm getting this paper. You see? Because your love for money and things and all of that supersedes your moral compass. And that's fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, I just interviewed Rico Reckless, and we talked about, selling drugs in Chicago and everything else like that. And I'm like, why don't you guys just stop selling drugs in your own community? And he goes, well, if we stop selling it in our own community, someone else will come in and take all that money. Someone else will come in and start doing it. And I'm like, oh man, this is just such a fucked up mentality and cycle and everything else like that. Like,
also, people do crime where they're most comfortable. Like, first of all, and it's harder for black people to leave their community and surreptitiously move through another community. See, white people, they can move from white community to white community and not necessarily, be noticed like that. Chinese people, shit. Asian people, they got stores every fucking where. Like, you know what I mean? So seeing them in different communities wouldn't necessarily raise a red flag either. You see? But when you see a black man, in an affluent, let's say white neighborhood, you feel like he's doing something wrong. Maybe he's there to sell drugs to somebody, rob somebody, but he's there to do wrong. And it's harder, and so he's gonna get fucked with. You see what I'm saying? So now let's just say he was trying to transport drugs from his neighborhood to, that's a lot of heat going from point A to point B. That's a lot of stress. Every time the police pull behind, oh shit, are they gonna pull me over? You know what I mean? Like, you feel more comfortable doing shit in your own neighborhood. That's why there's a lot of crime, people do crime in their own fucking neighborhoods. I know this neighborhood. If I have to run from the police, I know exactly what fucking backyard to run over. And Mrs. Jen, she always leaves her gate open, so I could just run through that. And that one don't have a dog. When you in somebody else's neighborhood, you don't know the lay of the land, nothing. You fucked. So that's part of it too.
Well, Nipsey got killed. I mean, although the person hasn't been convicted yet, the person charged with the murder was from his own neighborhood. Like, this guy was a known guy in that neighborhood. He was actually a Rolling 60s, member as well. Maybe not that particular crew that Nipsey was cool with, but someone from their own community walked up and killed him and shot 2 other people in broad daylight. Nobody returned fire, so he was able to come back and shoot him again, point blank range, and like kick him. And it was like, God damn, man. Like, it was just a horrific story.
Oh, I watched
overall.
it. I mean, it was, it was disturbing.
It was very disturbing. It was very disturbing. And, at least he got, a sending off that I think surpassed everyone's expectations for an underground rapper, which is really what he was.
Right.
He had no songs, like no huge hit songs. He was really an underground rapper with a strong following.
Right.
And he got a funeral on the level of Michael Jackson.
Word. On the strength of his good deeds. On the strength of that they saw that this was a man who strove to truly give back to his community. And I don't want the takeaway message to be, oh, it's not worth it to try to reach back and help your people, and because that's almost how they're trying to set it up. Like, he got killed for trying to help, and I hear what Godfrey's saying about, you know, helping people from afar and all that type of shit. But at the same time, man, sometimes you got to get your hands dirty, man, and shit is gonna be what it is when you're helping people. You know what I mean? Like you could not be helping people and be in your own secluded fucking place and still get fucking killed. See what I'm saying? So there's no guarantee of nothing. I just don't want people to feel like it's futile to strive to do for your community, because it's not. Because there's plenty of niggas that get killed, you know, doing fuck shit all the time, and niggas keep doing that. Niggas keep doing that. So let's fucking keep doing this. Let's keep fucking buying stores and doing shit in the community. Fuck it, they can't take us all out. But let's not use that as an excuse to not do some positive shit. Let's not set it up for that.
I agree. I think that's a great way to actually frame it. You know, think of all the people that get killed doing, you know, illegal shit.
And we rap about it every day and glorify it.
People continue to do it.
Continue to do it.
One person gets killed helping, no one wants to help anymore. Yeah, no,
you see what I'm saying? Fuck that.
Yeah.
That's a bad narrative.
Well, as soon as Nipsey Hussle got killed, I remember I was on Twitter, and the first thing I saw trending was Dr. Sebi.
Yes.
Because, well, Nipsey spoke about Dr. Sebi in one of his songs.
Mm-hmm.
At least one of his songs that I know of. And I had heard that he was working on a Dr. Sebi documentary.
Yes.
So instantly people thought...
First of all, it's Dr. Sebi. I know it's spelled Sebi, but it's pronounced Sebi.
Okay, thank you for correcting me.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying it the wrong way the whole time.
Everybody's saying it the wrong way.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. Sebi.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing people jumped on is, oh, this must be a conspiracy because he was going to do a Dr. Sebi documentary that was going to bring down the pharmaceutical industry, and that's why they killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Did you take any seriousness with this?
Well, I absolutely did think about the Dr. Sebi documentary. That came into my mind shortly after hearing that he was killed. And I'm not going to act like it's so far out of the realm of possibility. Yes, Dr. Sebi has been reported on and all of that. So it's not like he would have just been coming out of nowhere. Left Eye was messing with Dr. Sebi. That's where she died at, out in Honduras, on a retreat with Dr. Sebi. But see, it's all about influence. See, Nipsey had big influence, as you can see by his funeral. So when you have somebody with big influence who shines a light onto something, that can be dangerous to certain powers that be. And I think it would be a disrespect to just laugh it off and act as if it's out of the realm of possibility. Just because we have a guy named Shitty who, you know, we have on camera shooting him, we don't know the full motivation. We're given a story about he was dissed and blah, 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 blah. We don't know if this motherfucker was paid to do what the fuck he was doing. And all we're saying, all you got to do is ask the question. I'm not trying to jump into conspiracy theories, but I'm not just washing it away either.
Well, you yourself, have you actually used any of Dr. Sebi's products or followed his regimens or anything of that
I'm gonna share a quick story with you. One of my best friends, okay, rest in peace to my man Star. He was diagnosed with like stage 4 cancer, right? He was in the hospital. They were doing whatever fucking hospital shit they do, right? He was in there fucked up. Like, I couldn't get out to see. He was out in California. So I'm on the phone with him.
he's literally like, I'm talking to him, he's talking real slow, and like these waves of pain would come over his body. So at times he'd be like, and it was like so hard to listen to. So I told his wife about Dr. Sebi. Okay? We got my man Star some Dr. Sebi. She started giving it to him in the hospital, unbeknownst to the doctors and all them. That's my word. The next time I talked to him, he was talking regular. He was good. He ended up leaving the hospital. But now once one thing happens, it might trigger some other shit. So he was out the hospital. He was good. Then some kind of fluid was on his lungs or some shit like that. So he had to go back in the hospital. Now he's back in the hospital with no more Dr. Sebi. They couldn't get him no more Dr. Sebis in there. They're all on him. And he ended up passing away. So I'm telling you, and to this day, his wife thanks me for putting her on to the Dr. Sebi, that it extended his time that much little more. Now, if he would have got that much earlier, I believe he would have been here right now. So this ain't this is some first-hand shit. This ain't no internet bullshit. That's all I'm saying. And yes, he did do the things that he said he did. I heard you, people said you was talking shit about Dr. Sebi.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Okay?
Let's talk about it. 'Cause
mucus is the enemy. He fucking exposed that.
First of all, let's just look at some facts.
Yes,
okay?
let's.
Dr. Sebi does not have an actual medical degree. He has a certificate of healing. It's a piece of paper that says certificate of healing.
So what?
So, to me, he's as much of a doctor as Dr. Dre.
See, you're trying to be funny right now, but that's some bullshit. Because although he doesn't have a certificate from the white man's fucking school, this motherfucker has been studying homeopathic medicine for most of his fucking life and probably knows more than most doctors know about this fucking field. Okay? So someone like me doesn't necessarily need the approval of the powers that be to let me know if somebody's an expert or not. I'm going to test their knowledge. I'm going to see what they know. And I'm going to decide for myself if this man is a doctor. And I'm telling you, that man was a doctor. I don't give a fuck what they say. But continue.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying you have to go to a white medical school. You could go to a black medical
school. What I'm saying is they all go under the criteria
of
Western medicine. You see what I'm saying? They're all going by the criteria of Western medicine and have some sort and you're only official if you're accredited by these people. So yes, that is white people's institutions, and it's their fucking shit how they set it up. That does not take away someone's knowledge. Like I could have studied. There's plenty of jailhouse lawyers. They can't fucking practice law in a real fucking court of law, but these motherfuckers, a lot of them know more than practicing lawyers. Am I gonna just shit on them, just disregard their knowledge just because they don't have a piece of paper? Like, that's retarded. That makes no sense. And he's not as much of a doctor as Dr. Dre, because Dr. Dre knows about music. He doesn't know about the human body. So, it's not just a title. You see what I'm saying? Like, technically you could say, yeah, he just gave himself that title. Shit, I'm Lord Jamar. I gave myself the title of a lord. Somebody goes, oh, he's not a real lord. He didn't, in the British monarchy or whatever the fuck they think a real lord is. We got to throw that out the window, Vlad. Keep moving. What else you got about Dr. Sebi?
I don't think that having a medical degree is the only way that you could heal somebody. Me personally, I went through serious health problems, and I found out it was actually all in my head. It was the stress and me being a hypochondriac, who's always scared of, dying from some crazy disease and everything else like that, fucked me up. I lost like 40 pounds. And once I realized it was in my head and positive thinking started to take over, my health came back. A lot goes into the mind-body connection.
Correct.
I got it. I absolutely believe in it with firsthand knowledge once again. This is not me telling someone else to do it like you have. This is me actually doing it myself. So you and I have both had experiences close to us. But at the end of the day, he claims to have cured AIDS and cured cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen any actual proof of any of this.
The proof is they took him to fucking court and couldn't
Yes.
fucking.
They took him to court, and I looked up this court case.
Mm-hmm.
That court case didn't actually prove that he cured anybody. Do you know what that court case, what the outcome of that was?
What, that he didn't treat them? That they couldn't prove that he was treating them?
In the court case, hold on.
Because I was looking into this stuff too. Go ahead. Let me hear what you about to say.
He was acquitted because the jurors claimed the state failed to show he made a medical diagnosis.
Correct.
They couldn't prove
he was
that he
treating
diagnosed.
people. Right. Correct. So he was treating people, but he wasn't diagnosing them. And then, so that was the key too. They were coming to him saying, I have AIDS, I have this. He didn't look at them and say, you have this. But he treated them for it. And what you're not telling them is in the fucking, in that court case, all he needed was like 9 people to say that he cured them. He brought like 75. So why don't you fucking let the people know that shit?
None of those 75 people has actually been proven that he cured them of anything. They just said it.
Come on, bro. What?
At the end of the day, none of those people took an AIDS test before and after Dr. Sebi.
If you're gonna hold him,
it never happened.
If you're gonna hold him to this stringent of a thing, then there's a lot of other shit I need you to hold as just as tough.
Let me tell you something. There is a standard HIV test out there used all over the planet.
Right, and it's bullshit, Vlad. It's bullshit. The motherfucker who made the test, oh my God, Vlad. Stop it. Stop it with your mainstream bullshit. Okay?
Okay.
Dr. Sebi is a credible man. We're not gonna talk down about him or nothing like that. I'm telling you, he was doing what the fuck he said he was doing. Okay? You can't prove that he didn't do it. Right?
And you can't prove that he did do it.
So then we're in the realm of belief then. So it's either you believe he did it or not. I believe he did do it.
And this is the thing. Like, to me, Dr. Sebi has all the classic signs of a cult leader.
Bro, no, he don't.
Do you know how many kids Dr. Sebi had?
How many?
Take a guess.
25.
17.
Okay.
He had 17 kids.
Kids Papa Wu has? 16. Is Papa Wu called one leader? No. Like, I know guys with 10 fucking kids. What does that have to do with anything?
Man, listen, he had 17 children.
Cult leaders have like 60 kids, bro. Like, come on. Stop it.
Okay.
I know you got a lot of jokes set up and all this for this, but
No, I'm actually serious. I look at Dr. Sebi as one of these cult leaders who took.
He wasn't a cult leader. Stop calling him that. He wasn't a cult leader.
Who had a series of cures that he used an Afrocentric angle to get people to go along with what he said. And I think that a lot of people used positive thinking and the belief that they could be cured to actually help cure themselves. But I don't think any of this stuff was actually clinically proven. And at the end of the day, you could follow Dr. Sebi. I think he still has like a store or some stores.
Meloxicam is clinically proven?
What's that?
All these fucking drugs. If you took such and such, call the lawyers of such and such. None of that fucking shit is clinically proven. This is clinically proven. You know by who? By fucking nature, Vlad. Because all his shit is not no fucking pharmaceutical bullshit. These are all natural fucking cures that have been here for thousands of years that we as original people have known about for the longest time, that have been proven in our cultures, but in Western European, y'all need other shit or whatever. Y'all need, I don't know what the fuck, but we not fucking with that. I'm telling you, Dr. Sebi's one of our ancestors, one of our elders, and we know that what he was doing was right and exact. And you can be skeptical all you want, but the fact is, I've seen it work. So that's all I can say. I've seen it work. And I don't. And first of all, okay, here's the thing, right? I don't know if my man knew he was getting Dr. Sebi's. How about that? So that throws your fucking shit right out the fucking window. Okay? His wife knew what she was giving him. He was so fucked up, he didn't know what he was getting. So think about that.
Hey man, listen. When all the people who are watching this, when they eventually get sick,
do the research your own self.
Well, they have the option to treat themselves the way they want to be treated. They could go to Dr. Sebi. They could try, these different types of diets, or they could try medical, modern medicine to try to treat them. There was.
I don't like the word modern. That's
modern,
almost like
modern medicine.
That's almost like a code word for better, though. Like for
okay.
And it's not. But anyway.
Okay.
Western medicine. They can go for Western
medicine. I'll take my chances with Western medicine. You guys could do whatever you want. It's a free country. You guys are welcome to do whatever you want to do. And at the end of the day, it's your life.
Right.
Nobody
I'm just saying,
else
don't try to shit on Dr. Sebi, because we could shit on these fucking regular doctors all fucking day. We could shit on these pharmaceutical companies all fucking day. Okay? So don't shit on a self-taught, self-made man who fucking didn't go down the route of these motherfuckers, so now they're trying to discredit them. Don't do that, Vlad. Don't do that to them.
Hey, we could agree to disagree on this.
Okay.
We could agree to disagree.
Absolutely.
Like I said, it's everyone's choice what they want to do.
Yes, sir.
There's lots of people based on their religious beliefs that will not give their dying child a blood transfusion.
Well, let's talk about the Hasidic Jews right now with this measles outbreak.
Let's talk about it. Well, I mean, actually, I don't have any information about it. Tell me about
there's a big thing going on in the Hasidic community, especially, where they thought measles was eradicated in this fucking country. And right now, there's about 300-something cases in like Rochester, New York, a few different places around the country. And they're mainly like Hasidic Jew communities where they don't believe in giving vaccinations and all this type of stuff. And certain cities like were issuing quarantines where these people are not allowed out in public, like on some ill shit, because they found that like they were trying to use a religious basis of why they didn't do it, but they found there is no real religious basis. Like there's Jewish rabbis saying, no, you can get the vaccine, but a lot of people still don't want to do it. And so there's a big measles outbreak going on right now in a lot of Hasidic communities.
I mean, there's a lot of anti-vaccination, you can call them conspiracy theories or however you want to frame it, to the point where I've heard that Facebook and YouTube are actually shutting those down because, and the side effect of people watching these videos is they don't get vaccinated and it opens them up to stuff like the measles. I mean, I got vaccinated. I got the flu shot this year. I actually did my own research and I talked to my doctor about it, and it's like, okay, let's go ahead and do this. But at the end of the day, you could use whatever rationale to do or not do something, and there's ramifications both ways. And yeah, I could see I used to live in a Hasidic Jewish neighborhood in Borough Park in New York for like a year, and it was nuts. It was like being in Mars. Like you couldn't shake hands with a woman, because that's considered, something you don't do. I mean, at a certain time, everything shuts down. You can't use electricity.
They can't drive cars, none of that.
Can't drive cars from sundown Friday to like sundown Saturday. And
gotta fuck through a sheet.
They got their own shit. I don't really understand it.
You heard that one? They gotta fuck through a sheet.
Fuck through a sheet. Yep, I heard about that too. And they have gangs of kids. They have huge families.
And they all drive vans.
Families. Yeah, they all drive vans. The women shave their heads and wear wigs. It's a bunch of weird shit that I just don't really understand. And, I'm not surprised about a measles outbreak because they refuse to take a vaccination. This does not surprise me at all. It's par for the course of everything else I've seen before. Well, Joe Biden just announced that he's running for president.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, unless I'm mistaken, because I actually went through his timeline, he announced that he's running for president on Twitter in Spanish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had to press the translate button to really see what he said exactly. It's almost, and when I took a step back, I'm like, I see what he's doing.
He's doing an opposite Trump move. Like,
he
wants to build a wall. Trump. I'm going to tear one down by speaking in Spanish. I get it.
That's exactly what he's doing.
I mean, I'm going to say that the Democratic field looks very crowded right now, and they need to thin this motherfucker out, or this nigga Trump's probably going to be back in office. Like, are they doing this on purpose? Like, figure out who the fuck is your people, is it's going to be. Like, there's a hell of a lot of people running right now.
Well, there's a reason for it, and that's because that statistically, almost every president ends up winning a second term. In your lifetime and mine, there's only been a small handful of presidents that lost a second term. There's Jimmy Carter, George H.W. Bush, and that's about it. In terms of actual presidents, they didn't get there because the president got assassinated or the president quit, like Nixon. You know what I'm saying? Like an actual elected president usually wins the second term, so you don't usually get the best people running, after term one. But Biden is kind of an exception. Like I've always said, if anyone could potentially beat Trump for a second term, it would be Biden, and boom, here we go. Because to me, I see it as an extension of Obama.
Well, that's how they want you to see it. You know what I mean? They're gonna, that's definitely what they want you to feel. That he's gonna be, Obama by osmosis. That, since he was rubbing against Obama, he's gonna have some of that Obama-esque energy, and we can bring that back to the White House. I'm just, I'm skeptical about shit like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, was this their plan all along? Like, was this why he was chosen to be vice president? So that, listen, there be plans that go years in advance. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. What do you think? You think he could beat him? Like, what do you think?
I think so, man. I think if he could really mobilize all the people who just didn't vote because they didn't like Trump, but they didn't like Hillary either. Because I remember a friend of mine who was a Washington insider. A few months before the election, I said, hey, listen, do you think that Trump could win? He said, yeah. This was at a time that everyone was laughing at Trump, right? The ground by the pussy thing was out, and everyone's like, okay, this guy's a clown. He goes, he explained why. He said, this is why. Someone who's voting for Hillary is going to go to the polls and vote for Hillary and then come home and, watch TV. Someone who's voting for Trump is going to get their 5 friends and they're all going to carpool together and they're all going to vote for Trump together because they feel so strongly about Trump. That's not happening on the Hillary side. And that's really what happened on the Trump side. All the Trump people really mobilized. And he ended up winning. Now, if there was a candidate on the Democratic side that people could mobilize around, like potentially Biden, this is where the chance will come in.
I think
And
the
I hope
only
so.
way that's going to really happen, though, is that this motherfucker, and they'll probably do it, Obama's going to have to get up off his couch and really go out there and campaign for this man.
Oh, I mean,
Like,
you know that's going to happen.
Hardcore, like hardcore.
You know that's going to happen. And I remember I actually looked this up. I said, well, could Obama be Biden's vice president? And he can't because, let's say Biden dies, then Obama would become president, and then that would break the 2-term rule.
Right,
He would end up getting a 3rd term.
right, that way.
But yeah, so Obama can't even be vice president. He could be
But
a
Michelle
Secretary of State.
can.
Michelle can, 100%. Ooh. Joe Biden with Michelle as a vice president? Oh, shit.
I'm just saying. That sounds like a ticket that would fucking get people's fucking Billy Goats gruff, and they'll be ready to go with that one right there. So, yeah, I don't know. I just put that out there for y'all. Run up the flagpole, see if it flies.
Well, you and I talked about this over the phone a while back. I never realized that you and Biggie actually had a close relationship.
Big was my man.
So let's talk about it. How did you and Big end up hooking up and actually forming a friendship?
Okay, so back in the days, Sadat X in my group, he used to do a lot of features and shit with people, you know? And I used to be like mad at him sometimes because I used to feel like, yo, why are you wasting, you know, some of the features I felt like it didn't make no sense. Like he would do it with rappers that I felt like was beneath him and wasn't helping him. So one day he plays me a fucking song that he did a feature on, and it was with Big. It was the Come On, Motherfucker, Come On. And I said, oh, this is, who's that right? Yo, this is this kid Puff guy, da-da-da-da-da-da. So, but this is early, like niggas did not hear Biggie yet. Like song wasn't even out yet. I don't think he had no song. Maybe shortly after this, he was on that shit with Supercat and
Dolly My Baby.
yeah, that remix or whatever the fuck he was on that. It was probably around that time. And when he had that leather B.I.G. fucking hockey jersey, it was at that time. So I moved to Brooklyn around that time, shortly before that, or you know what I mean? Around that time. And so, you know, I'm making my moves on the streets or whatever, and like I'm going down Fulton over by Washington and St. James, and I see Big, you know? And I forget, maybe I met him one time before that, or I don't know, but I just see him like, yo, what up? You know what I mean? Like, what's good? Like, you know, you want to smoke an L or what up? You know what I mean? Sure. You know what I mean? Hopped in the whip, we go, smoking, chilling, talking, and then, you know, we just ended up just doing that periodically. Like, you know what I mean? I just see him on the block, like, yo, what's good? Like, want to smoke an L? Like, and I'll be like, yo, your shit's nasty, B. I'm telling you, you fucking dope. You know what I mean? And he was like, yo, you know, I don't know. I told that nigga Puff, like, yo, if you jerk me, I'm going to handle this shit like I've been handling shit. You know what I mean? I was like, I hear you, my nigga. Like, do your thing, but, you know, your shit is dope. And then after that, he came, you know, he started coming with his shit, that Juicy and all that. And
So you already had an idea, the potential of Biggie.
I knew
early.
when I first heard him that this guy was going to be something special. I knew it. I have that ear. Like, I got that fucking A. I'm never wrong. Like, when I hear some shit, I know. Sometimes it takes time for it to manifest, but I'm telling you, I be knowing. I've always had that ear.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was living in New York at the time. You know, I moved to New York later on. So my first introduction to Biggie was the first album, Ready to Die. But when you heard that first album, clearly it was like, okay, this is a great album. This is a great project. This is a great rapper. He doesn't sound like anybody else. He could do commercial and
underground,
underground gangster rap, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, man, very, very sad loss. I mean,
Very
when I think
sad
of
loss.
hip hop, the last time I remember, when you think about the Nipsey Hussle funeral, because I think Tupac had like a private ceremony. But Biggie had, did you go to the funeral?
Well, I didn't go to the Frankie Campbell, but I was out there on Fulton and St. James with that whole fucking crowd. And when the hearse came through and when that fucking Hypnotize came on and motherfuckers started, that shit was, I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it, kind of. That shit was crazy. That shit was crazy. Yeah, that was a special day.
Yeah, that was the last time I remember hip hop really mourning together the loss, publicly mourning the loss of one of their idols, essentially.
And people was out on the corner bawling, like, you know what I mean? Like it was nothing. Hard niggas. You know what I mean? Like tough motherfuckers. Crying their eyes out for Big.
Well, you came in contact with Tupac as well.
Yes, I did.
When I interviewed Malik Yoba recently.
Who's born on the same day as me. Shout out to Malik Yoba, September 17th in this bitch.
Okay. Yeah, we had our first interview recently. And, Malik had come in contact with Tupac as well. And he said something that got a lot of people riled up. And he said that Tupac talked about changing the community, but Nipsey actually did it.
Tupac talked a lot about what we need to do for the community. And obviously, with his mother, Afeni, who was a Panther, and, by extension, the breakfast programs, education programs, all that kind of stuff that he was steeped in, he spoke to those things. But Nipsey was actually doing those things. The interesting thing about him is that he wasn't on everybody's radar like that.
I saw that.
What do you think of that statement?
I mean, it's true and not true. I'm going to say that, well, for some people, Tupac's example could have led some people down a positive road, but it also could have led some people down a negative road as well, if we keep it 100. You know what I mean? Because he was that type of individual. I mean, we all are, really. Nothing's 100% positive or 100% negative, but he definitely had that dual type of thing going on with him. You know what I mean? That one side where it seems like a, Black Panther, positive, love the community type of shit, and then the other side was thug life, some gangster shit. So his positive side could have inspired other people, you see what I'm saying? Which in turn can help change the community. You see what I'm saying? But what I believe Malik Yoba is saying, that Nipsey actually had physical things other than just inspiring people. He actually had ventures within the community that were tangible, things you can touch, not just concepts and energy. You know what I mean? Which I think is what Tupac really provided for people, was more of an energy and a just a frame of reference. But this guy actually had brick and mortar shit you can touch. And I think that's the difference. I think that's what he meant.
Well, yeah. And there's a lot of nuances you have to look at in these situations. Tupac was 25. Nipsey was 33.
Right.
Tupac was bouncing around all over the country for years, whereas Nipsey was from that area, exclusively. was born and raised in that particular area and had been there the majority of his life. Tupac was, Baltimore, New York,
Tupac was a
Oakland,
Rolling Stone, and this guy had roots planted where he
L.A. He had just got out of prison, a few months before he got murdered.
First of all, Pac wasn't from L.A. Like, you know what I mean?
Wasn't from
like,
L.A. at all.
Born over here
At
and all
all.
that. So that's
Yeah.
a difference too. Like,
Yeah. And, people don't want to admit this, but I actually talk to people around him. So I really know, more details about this story. Pac died with a few $1,000s like in his bank account. He had millions coming from all his royalties and everything, but between all the cases he was fighting, all the people he was taking care of, and, just being, spending his money and wilding out, he wasn't really focused on business. He was more of a pure artist as far as I'm concerned. He was just focused on the music and that's it. And everything else, well, I'll make enough to get by with it and it'll get worked out later on. Whereas Nipsey spent a large portion of his time working on businesses.
Nipsey said, $1 million life insurance on my flesh, nigga. Like, that's in his raps. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's some ill shit for a rapper to say. Like, when's the last time you heard a rapper say he had life insurance? Forget in his rhymes, just say it out loud, period. Like, so that just kind of shows you where his head is at. But from what I understand, Nipsey, he was always, from what I understand, he's got interviews when he was like 20 years old, and he's talking about ownership and so his mind was just groomed in that type of way from a very young age, whereas, like you said, Pac was just on some artist shit. Like, I don't know if he even really cared about the money. You understand? Like,
Yeah, because all his cars were leased, except for he had a Jaguar that St. Ides gave him. But all those Benzes and everything, those were all death row leases. And, running a business is fucking time consuming, man. I wish I could just be a pure interviewer.
Right.
I show up, I do the interview, and everyone else, someone else is paying for this office that you're in right now and handling all the employees and doing the HR shit and doing all the back end stuff. And, one of these radio interviews, they show up, they do their interviews, and they go about their day. A lot goes into that. And I don't think Pac, at the time of his life, was really focused on that type of thing. He was focused on the art. And the art was phenomenal. Nipsey the whole time was always juggling the two. Right. So, yeah. I
and hold up though. So can that partly explain why Pac might have been bigger in the entertainment field? You see what I'm saying? As far as a bigger star, because he had more time to focus on that. Whereas, and Nipsey was bigger in the business field because he actually didn't devote as much time to the, you see what I'm saying? And so maybe he didn't rise to the same levels star-wise that a Tupac did.
I think that's exactly what happened. What happened.
And so that being said, so what? Like, see, we all got our strengths and weaknesses. You understand what I'm saying? And just because Nipsey's strength was business and Pac's strength was, whatever it was, just inspiring people. Like, do they have to be identical? You see what I'm saying? Do they have to be identical? Like, it's okay, I feel like. It's okay.
Yeah, man, it's completely okay, and one is not worse than the other, and everyone finds their way, and later on at 33, Pac might have completely abandoned the music altogether and just focused on his businesses, kind of like a chameleonaire. Like a chameleonaire just does investments and doesn't really rap anymore.
I heard he invested in Lyft early or something like that.
Lyft, yeah. He invested in Lyft early, and that probably worked out for him. And a lot of people can actually invest in companies early. You can go ahead and Google it. Like what a chameleonaire did is not is not closed to just people like Chameleonaire. The
No,
average
no.
person could do that.
But
as well.
but it's about, you know, picking the right shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
Because I'm sure there's other ride sharing services that might have started at the same time that are no longer here that we didn't hear about, and Uber and Lyft happened to just get to the top. You kind of have to, you know what I mean? Be able to spot some shit sometimes to know
Yep.
what to put your money into.
I recently interviewed Michael Franzese, who was the highest ranking, Italian mafia member to ever leave, from the 5 families to actually leave and not go to prison or be in protective custody and actually talk about his experiences. And he said something interesting during the interview, which I didn't realize until I went back and researched it afterwards. He has some dealings with Al Sharpton, and he said that Al Sharpton actually turned into an FBI informant.
But the only one that got in trouble over that was Al Sharpton, because he tried to do a drug deal with the agents. And then he became an informant after that, 100%, no matter what he says. He was an informant. He tried to do a drug deal. They got him on tape doing the deal, the whole bit.
Al Sharpton
Al Sharpton,
was an informant.
absolutely, 100%.
Okay. Did he get anyone busted?
That I don't know, but there's a lot of news on this. I mean, Newsday wrote a 3-part series on his being, Al Sharpton and getting himself in trouble. I don't know how he skated that, but that's Al. I mean, he's a good talker. He gets away with stuff.
And sure enough, I found interviews where Al is admitting to this.
Everybody knows this.
He wore a wire and everything.
Yeah. We knew this. That was old fat Al, old sweatsuit wearing Al.
Sweatsuit.
Old
wearing Al.
old cowboy hat with the
gold
sweatsuit,
chain
Al.
on the outside.
Remember
yeah.
Al with the sweatsuits and the gold chain and
And the perm.
and the wire. Yeah.
And the wire.
But in the black community, we've known that about Al for a long time. Like we've been talked about Al, wearing wires and fucking with the feds.
Okay. Like I didn't know that.
not
and
nothing
everyone calls me the feds. So if you're calling me the feds and you support Al Sharpton, then there's something wrong with you. Because me, I
Because
don't
he's
wear any
really
wires.
the feds. Like he really wore a wire. I don't have a wire in my beard, says Vlad.
I mean, from your point of view, what does the black community think of Al Sharpton these days? Because he continued to be, a known figure. I mean, Obama met with him and stuff like that.
Because he's put himself to the point where, in white people's eyes, he has power. I believe in black people's eyes, right now, Al's a non-factor. You see what I'm saying? There's not a lot of black leadership right now. You understand? So Al is not somebody that we're necessarily, you know what I mean, out here ready to follow. He just attaches himself to so many different things. And so when something goes on, you'll see he's there. But it's not like Al can organize a march today and it's going to be like 50,000 people marching behind Al. You see what I'm saying? Like, Al would come to the march, though, that's already organized with 50,000. And since he's known, they're going to put him up towards the front. And it'll look like, you see what I'm saying? But he don't really have that type of power in the black community right now. But I believe the white people feel he does. But now I think black people, older black people look at him almost like a black celebrity. And, he's in there rubbing elbows with a lot of politicians and all that. So when you're in the room with an Al, and I've been in many rooms with Al Sharpton before, they look at him like a fucking celebrity or some shit,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But that's
like I said, it was a shock to me. Like I really was like, wow, he actually wore a wire.
Yeah, nah, I've known about that for years. That's old news.
Yeah, and I guess I feel like he was able to kind of sneak past this whole situation because he was getting Italians busted. He wasn't getting other black people put in prison. I think if he did that,
right,
then people would really be like, all right, fuck this guy.
Right, but at the same time, that did make black people distrustworthy of him. You know what I mean? Because I've seen, many people blow him up. Like, oh, fuck Al Sharpton. He wears a wire and all like that. At the end of the day, in the black community, don't matter who the fuck you wearing a wire for. Like, that makes it worse if it was for us. But the fact that you wearing a wire, period, no good.
Well, speaking of telling on people, Tekashi 6ix9ine, the sixth.
Good segue. I knew that was coming. Speaking of telling on people.
Well, yeah, the sixth person. Let me just double check. The sixth
pleaded
defendant,
guilty.
and Tekashi 6ix9ine has pled guilty.
And doesn't he need them all to plead guilty for him to maybe get out or something like that?
I think so. I think Kuda B might be the last person. He's actually out on bail right now. He was the one that, Tekashi's in the video putting the hit out on Chief Keef or whatever. Like, Kuda, according to Tekashi, cooperating, he said that Kuda was the one who ended up shooting in the air or whatever else. I think he might be the last person. We'll see if he takes it to trial or not, or whether he, accepts a plea deal. And, they're saying Tekashi might be out in September.
Wow. What's gonna happen?
I'm
just very curious about the climate we live in. Like, if you can move like that, come out and still, make records and shit like that. And we talked about this before.
Well, yeah. Right now, whenever I look at the top songs, the Spotify, charts and everything, there's that song with A Boogie featuring Tekashi that's always on the charts.
Yes.
So Tekashi is still getting airplay.
He's still getting airplay because people love A Boogie, but then it's like, I guess they love A Boogie more than they hate Tekashi because, I was kind of surprised. I was in the car and I was like, hang on, is that Tekashi right now? Like, I'm like, why are they still playing this nigga? But then then I saw it was a song, it wasn't just his song. So that's even disturbing too. Not that I don't want them to play, you know what I mean? Because I fuck with A Boogie.
I've interviewed A Boogie, and A Boogie could have taken him off the song if he wanted to. But he didn't. Think about that. He could have sent out a version without Tekashi, but he didn't.
He probably thought it was going to be controversial or something, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to figure out, motherfucker, you know what I mean? Frame of mind these days. Like people's motivations and shit. Like.
Well, at the time they did their song, Tekashi was the hottest thing smoking in New York.
And by the time he released it, this motherfucker is a pariah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, well, Tekashi cooperated. I heard he had actually taken the stand in a certain case, because I remember that one lawyer dude that always reports on stuff. Right. He had mentioned it. Tekashi is doing anything to get out of prison right now, get out of jail right now.
Who is that lawyer dude anyway?
I don't know, man. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was kind of smart, to be honest, for him to do that. Like.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Just be the hip-hop lawyer. I'm just going to go into court and report on hip-hop shit that's going on. Like.
Yeah, and he's an actual lawyer.
Right. Fuck it.
Probably got some clients along the way.
You see how you could just create lanes these days? Like.
Yeah.
And who knows where he could take that?
Oh yeah, man. He might be the next big hip hop lawyer. The motherfuckers might, he might change his whole thing and start representing rappers. Who knows?
Although he might suck, we don't know.
Yeah.
His lawyer skill, but whatever. Okay.
So I recently brought in Malik Yoba for an interview, and in my conversation with him, I had mentioned the Michael Jai White interview where Michael Jai White said he would never wear a dress in a role. Were you ever asked, ever had a role where you were going to dress like a woman in that role? Had you accepted it?
No, it was a part of a comedy. I was doing a sitcom, and it was just a quick suggestion. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And okay, cool. It was not, but it was not no conspiratorial type of thing like that.
Okay. His agents know better than to even bring that shit to him.
And that's why I
anymore.
fucks with you, Michael Jai White. Black
That's
Dynamite,
the homie, man.
Never.
I really like the Michael Jai White interview, and me and him have actually kept in contact. He invited me for a fight party.
I love Michael Jai White. That is my dude, and Black Dynamite is one of my favorite fucking movies.
Let me tell you, at Michael's house, he has a Black Dynamite Afro pick that is the size of you. I guess they put it like in trees and stuff like that, like during the promo run.
Oh, that's
you managed
crazy.
to grab one of them.
That's crazy. Oh man, I love Black Dynamite.
Well, and we talked about the whole thing about black men wearing dresses and so forth. And Malik Yoba said he actually wants roles where he would wear a dress and act like a woman.
So in my one-man show, Harlem to Hollywood, I play over 15 characters. My show is set in a therapist's office. One of the main characters is Gladys Rosenberg, who's an old Jewish woman. She's a therapist. That's me. I play 2 trans characters in it. I play an old Spanish man. I play an old Italian guy. I play an old Jamaican woman. So for me, we're vessels. And the goal is to show humanity in all of its fullness. And I'm half man, half woman. My mother birthed me. I'm half of that. And I think for a lot of men, we really have a problem identifying with that side of ourselves because we have some notion that that doesn't make you man. Well, you couldn't be a man without a woman.
And
I thought you was my Virgo brother, Malik. This is very un-Virgo of you. Very un-Virgo.
And he understands that there are conspiracies of, black men in Hollywood, having to, demasculate themselves and so forth.
But he's diabolical, dick-shrinking motherfuckers.
And but he said he doesn't believe in that. And for him, in terms of acting, he said straight out, I want roles like that, where I'm forced to wear dresses or act like a woman or do things to push my acting ability to the limits. Because, Malik has been a serious actor for a very long time, and you can't take any of that away from him. Now, saying that, hearing that, what are your thoughts on it?
You bugging, Malik. You bugging, Malik. Like, I'm sorry, and I fucks with Malik Yoba, but he's bugging if he thinks that the emasculation of black men, especially in media and in Hollywood, is not a real thing. Listen, if he wants to do that, though, that's on him. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not here to try to stop him or even talk him out of it, but I'm just saying, like, that's some other shit right there. Like, and I don't feel that makes you any more of a serious actor because you're willing to, play a transvestite and all this type of shit. Honestly, I feel like that's him just telling the powers that be, listen, I'm ready to do whatever the fuck y'all need me to do. Hire me for some good shit. Hire me for some shit because I'm ready. Put me in the game, coach, because I'll do whatever. And it's like,
people sometimes forget that you're an actor as well.
Yes.
Just
came off in
you have other jobs as opposed to sitting on my couch.
But right. But just like Michael Jai White, my manager knows. Don't even send me in for no shit that involves something that I'm not morally comfortable with. Mainly playing some sort of homosexual / transvestite, whatever the case may be. I'm not with it. There's plenty of other people that are with it. And I probably get less calls because of that. See what I'm saying? My phone probably doesn't ring as much as it would if I would say, put me in the game, coach. I'm ready to do whatever. Then it's like, oh, okay, I got something for you. But, yeah.
Well, I guess that you were actually asked to audition for the role of Omar in The Wire.
Correct.
Who was a gay gangster character.
Correct.
And you purposely did not audition for that.
I did not go. I said, absolutely not. I'm not, I'm not even going to get to the point where, because with my luck, I would have fucking got it. You know what I mean? I would have got it. They would have been offering me all this, and try to make it even harder for you to fucking say no. I'm not even putting myself in that position. Like, no, I'm not doing it. And y'all could think whatever you want to think. I'm not doing that. And then after that is when I told my manager, please don't send me on no shit like that again. Don't send me no shit like that. Cause I can't, I'm not willing to be that kind of actor. Like, although I enjoy acting, I don't take it that seriously where I'm willing to trick myself into believing that I'm someone else at that moment. You see what I'm saying? You're still that person, even though you're playing a character. So I might be playing a character who kisses a man, but at the end of the day, that's really me kissing a man. You know what I mean? I can't say, oh, I was playing a character. Nah, that's you doing that. So...
Okay, so here's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
What if you were offered to play a gay role?
Nope. And even though it didn't have no kissing and nothing, I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
What am I gonna say?
You're gonna say it's a gay role, but I don't have to do anything gay.
Nope.
What you gonna say?
A gay role in an animated film.
No.
Where you're not actually kissing anybody. You're just in a booth doing the lines.
No. Absolutely not. That's the saying. This is what I'm saying. Even if my character was just gay, but he didn't kiss anybody or there was no physical, you know what I mean? I'm still not doing that. Because I'm not trying to help promote that either. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to help perpetuate that lifestyle and that train of thought.
Well, what's interesting is when I interviewed Michael Franzese, the former Mafia member, we talked about J. Edgar Hoover.
Mm-hmm. Who was gay.
Who was gay in the closet. And he actually confirmed.
So he happened to catch Hoover and his boyfriend on tape in the bathroom doing some stuff that they shouldn't have. And they held it over Hoover's head. And that was one incident that caused Hoover to never admit that there was a mafia.
And in turn, turned his attention towards the Black Panthers.
Mm.
Think about that.
Mm.
Think about that. And it's interesting, we talked about this as well, that back then, we're talking about the 60s, the 70s, whatever, to be outed as gay would be a career ender for somebody like a J. Edgar Hoover.
Mm-hmm.
You fast forward to 2019.
It could be
CEO,
a career maker.
Well, the CEO of Apple, that's either the number one or number two biggest company in the world, is an openly gay man. And when he announced it, nobody cared. It's just not the same negative stigma.
And what I'm saying,
anymore.
in politics, you have people, the first openly gay, such and such running from. Matter of fact, didn't some black openly gay women just win mayor? You might want to type it up. Search that real quick. Some openly gay woman just became the first mayor of some city, and she's black. And her wife is white.
Chicago, actually. Lori Lightfoot was elected Chicago mayor. Will be the first black woman and first openly gay person in that position.
Yep.
Hey, man, good for her. I'm happy for it. Good for her.
I'm just saying,
good
that's
for her.
A selling point right now. You see what I'm saying? That was a selling point for her. So like I said, back then it could have been a career ender. Today, it's a career starter.
There you go. There you go. And honestly, man, I'm happy when people are out in the open with it. As opposed to, like I said, you went and fucked up the Black Panthers, because you couldn't admit who you really were. That's it. You went and COINTELPRO and destroyed lives and destroyed communities because you couldn't tell the world that you liked men. The fuck?
You hated on the breakfast program just because you couldn't admit that you like playing with balls.
Yeah, man, fucking shame. I'm personally happy that it's more out in the open these days and people are living their truth and everything else like that. You know what I mean? Because I think that once you hide it and try to, focus it in other weird ways, that's when you get some really horrific results. Live your truth. Do your thing.
Well, my truth is that I'm a fucking king. Like, could y'all fucking shower me with fucking a kingdom and jewels and shit? Like, I want to live my truth. I want to, set up the bathroom special for me. So that's just like a throne in that motherfucker. I'm serious. I'm fucking, that's my truth. Can I live my truth?
Yeah, you can. I think you can.
Fucking discriminate me. Don't king shame me.
What do you think of Old Town Road by Lil Nas X?
Listen. First of all, Old Town Road proves my fucking point that I've been saying all along about hip-hop, genres, the guarding of genres and shit like that, the gatekeepers. Fuck Old Town Road as a song. I mean, it is catchy. But at the same time, it's whack, like Dave East said. You see what I'm saying? Like for a real rapper, that's not a dope song. Like, that's not nothing I'm really gonna play. But at the same time, when I heard it, is it catchy? Like, yeah, it's catchy. Now, do I feel it's country enough to be on the country music charts? Absolutely, I do. If you're gonna say some of this bullshit we got out here is hip-hop enough to be hip-hop, when certain people might feel that it's not, well then, goddamn it, let this motherfucker in. You see? But we as black people are quick to let these white people come into our shit, do our shit, and we're accepting. Oh yeah, no, that's hip-hop, let him in. This black man want to come and do a country-esque thing and get on the Billboard charts, and they said, no, you don't, black man, black nigger. You're not country enough for us. Sorry. And this is exactly what I've been saying the whole time.
Well, I'm kind of on the opposite end of this argument. Usually I'm on hip-hop side when it comes to this type of thing, but in this particular time, I actually understand why the song was taken off the country charts.
Why?
Here's why. Let's just say a country singer, someone that's been doing, putting out country songs on his YouTube channel for a couple of years, who's a standard, country guy who plays the guitar and talks about country music type stuff. He decides one day, something, I'm going to just play around and switch it up. I'm going to go ahead and make a hip hop song. And in the song, I'm going to talk about wearing gold chains and smoking blunts and a bunch of stereotypical stuff that non-hip hop people look at rappers and associate themselves with. And the song suddenly starts to chart because it's catchy and it gets on the hip hop charts. I think most hip hop people would look at that and say, man, get this parody song off these charts.
Do we? Because you've described Post Malone right there. You just described Post Malone. The fuck are you talking about? The fuck are you talking about? Post Malone.
Let's take a look at Post Malone.
Post Malone used to do folk music, bro. Post Malone admittedly sits around with a guitar and comes up with his melodies on the fucking floor with him and his brother, and fucking that's where they come up with the shit. He was a folk singer who did everything that you're talking about right now. And I seen him up and down. Motherfuckers accepted him. Nobody stopped him from being on the fucking hip-hop charts. Nobody said nothing. He's making songs with 21 Savage, all of these motherfuckers. He does the same shit you talk, hip-hop references, drugs, all of that. The Beastie Boys did punk rock. Came in with all these fucking smoking crack, did all of that shit that you talking about. It's already been done by white people, and we let it happen. So you better get your fucking ass back on the hip-hop side and cut that bullshit out.
Okay, you know something? Bringing up those examples, I'm going to actually modify my stance.
Thank you.
I'm going to, usually me and you will keep debating until we give up. But in this particular instance, I think you have absolutely proven your point, especially with Post Malone. Yeah, you're right. You're right. He was doing, in fact, I remember when that weird video came out where he was wearing like Daisy Dukes and shit like that. He even said, I'm not a rapper.
And listen, when the people at Billboard or whatever, whoever, first of all, I don't know who it is, but no one came and said, who does this guy think he is to stop this guy from being on the country charts? Like, who are you to say what's country and what's not? All the shit motherfuckers was telling me. You see what I'm saying? Like, tell it to these motherfuckers. Oh, music is just music. That's what y'all was telling me. Oh, how could a music have a color and all of this type? Man, but that's what they were saying. He's not white enough. It's not that it wasn't country enough. He wasn't white enough, even though black people created country music. Yeah, look it up.
Black people created country music.
Country music. Look it up. The original fucking cowboy is a black fucking person. The original term cowboy is applied to a black man. You motherfuckers steal every fucking thing.
Well, Billy Ray Cyrus jumping on that song
helped it immensely. Put it number
helped
one.
it immensely.
It said,
and
fuck the country charts. We're just gonna go straight to the Billboard 100. Eat a dick.
And, Billy Ray was basically rapping in that song. Baby gotta have it, diamond rings and Fendi sports bras.
You said my shit, my cowboy hat is Gucci.
Maserati sports
Wrangler
car.
on my booty. Yo, I loved the fuck you-ness of homeboy going to get Billy Ray Cyrus. A word? Oh, I'm not country enough? A word? All right, let me get this country motherfucker, you know what I mean, who I know y'all fuck with. I'm going to get this nigga on my song. Or I'm going to at least try. First of all, how'd he do that? He jumped in his DMs like, that was a bold move right there.
No, I mean, actually, I saw a little video that Billy Ray posted, and Billy Ray actually loved the song. And it reminded him, he said he used to play in Kentucky, and there was an actual Old Town Road in Kentucky where he played, and he said he loved the song. And when he heard about
the controversy,
when he heard that they took the song off the charts, he said, how the hell is this not country? Fuck this, I'm going to go jump on this song.
Right, and I'm going to make it country. Wow.
And think about who Billy Ray's daughter is.
Right.
And think about how much hip-hop crossover she's had over the years.
Now, what I would like to know is, and I'm not sure, once he got on the song, did these motherfuckers capitulate and put it on the country music charts?
It got on the country music charts.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Exactly. Well, before we go, I actually got I got an alert that John Singleton, who had a heart attack recently, is actually in a coma right now.
What?
Yeah.
Boys in the Hood, John Singleton?
Boys in the Hood, John Singleton. He had a heart attack, and I heard about that.
I didn't even hear about that. Word?
And yeah, this heart attack put him in a coma. So, people aren't sure if he's going to make it right now. I mean, by the time this part of the interview comes out, we're going to know one way or the other, hopefully, although he still might be in a coma by then. But it's, man, listen, everyone who's watching this, take care of your health. And, I just interviewed Bill Duke again, who is 76 years old. And, hopped out of his brand new Tesla.
Good.
He is good. He is mentally 100%, not 99%, 100. Me and him had a 2-hour interview where we were throwing topics at each other. His memory is excellent. He's still acting in movies right now, still working on new projects right now at 76. And, here we see somebody who is one of his contemporaries, who's in the same directing field as he is, who's in a coma right now at 51, man. You have to take care of yourself.
That's
you have
one
to exercise.
year older than me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy. And actually, and this is something I've been researching myself, the new Apple Watches actually monitor your heart for potential heart attacks.
Oh, wow.
And will alert you. It's a special type of device that's actually built into the watch, because it already, it looks
does
at your heart rate.
Right. Heart rate monitor.
Yeah, and also, your heart rate and everything else like that. But they actually launched this huge study. It was the biggest study ever, where they literally monitored hundreds of thousands of people, and they actually alerted a certain percentage of those people when a heart attack was potentially coming. And out of those, like a third, like 2/3 of them were just like no big deal, but a third of them actually was something that they had to deal with, and that potentially saved their lives. And just knowing a heart attack is coming an hour before it's coming could be the difference between
life and death,
survival and death. So, eat better, exercise, control your stress, and do preventative, measures potentially like the Apple Watch and so forth, because you don't want to be in your 40s and 50s or even 60s and suddenly have a heart attack and everything you've worked up to all that point, it stops.
And you know what
and
else is
family.
Good preventative measures? Dr. Sebi.
Dr. Sebi.
I'm just saying. But listen, I'd like to send out positive healing vibes to John Singleton, and we hope he comes out of this and gets better, man, because that's, he's one of our treasures, man.
He is, man. He is. Boys in the Hood was an all-time classic. And if you watch, for example, Snowfall, which to me was almost like a prequel to Boys in the Hood.
I love Snowfall.
I love Snowfall. Sorry, Freeway Ricky Ross. I know that.
Yeah, I know.
They took your story.
I know.
I interviewed him about it.
Sorry,
and I understand
it is
that.
well done, and yes,
it is well done. And I said that to his face. I said, I know you're gonna hate me saying this, but it's a great show. My favorite show on television is Snowfall. I know this is gonna annoy you when I say this. I know this. I know this.
Boo!
Have you watched it at all?
Never.
Never.
What? I'm not really into fairy tales.
Okay.
First of all,
because the story, as someone who's watched every episode, it is clearly the Ricky Ross story. Yeah, man, one of our treasures who has an excellent body of work. I still wish he had done the Tupac movie.
Right.
And maybe once he comes out of it, maybe he will do the Tupac movie later on. Yeah, man, very, very sad news. I hope he pulls out of it. And, yeah, man, everyone really needs to pray, for his speedy recovery. So that's what it is. Lord Jamar, always a pleasure.
Vlad.
Yeah, make sure you watch the Yada the Mean podcast, Godcast. The Yada the Mean Godcast. I guess it's a different location these days.
Right, that's right. We in Brooklyn now. Check us out. We might even have a live audience soon. And I noticed you staring at my brand Nubian hoodie. I know this is super fresh, and so if you want to go get one, go to hoodg.com, and we got all kinds of shit up there, bro. Fuck with you,
man. And I've interviewed Rod Digger, both you and Rod Digger last time, as well as Rod Digger by herself.
Right.
Which was a very dope interview.
Absolutely.
Even though it ruffled a few feathers along the way. But
don't call me about it.
It's what it is, Lord Jamar. Peace.
V-Lad, peace.